What's good, everybody? Welcome back. We're here in Shonen Hoops. We've gone through the hoops. We're getting ready for the playoffs, but that's there. Today we are here for the Shonen part of Shonen Hoops. It has been a hot minute. It's been more than a month, but you know, we gave Omar some time to watch some new animes and
That's you're right. We finally have
sorry,
time.
new Shonen,
Yeah,
new Shonen, new Shonen.
we got some new shonen. I also had the Dandaran a while ago, and you said he didn't want to do it then, so we also
Yeah.
have that coming soon.
Yeah, season 2's coming soon, babies. You guys better be ready for
Uh,
that.
One Piece is on its return. The King is back.
Coming back this Sunday. Might even do a quick review. Who knows? We'll see.
Absolutely. We have something for Naruto Shippuden coming soon.
Yep.
We have to decide how we're going to do that. But for now, Kaiju number 8.
We're here to talk about the monster number 8. So, I had read it before, and I did watch the anime bits and pieces there. It's been a while, but Omar's refreshed memory because he just finished it up. So, Omar, you know, give me some of your highs and lows of the show. I'm kind of curious to hear what you think.
So this new format of anime being seasonal, Kaiju number 8 is like really well represented in by it. You have the comic relief of it, and there's no downtime. Like there's no like lulls that older anime has because it's like weekly.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to like keep up its pace, and so you don't really have none of those like little side stories here and there. It's all like here goes A, B, C, and D. You don't stop. So so it's like interesting. Like while I'm going back to watch older series and older shows, and then going back to something new like this, it's just like really like, well, like you have to pay attention. This is not something you can have in the background. But yes, the characters are amazing. I love the comic relief. Story is really good. The action's elite. The concept is also really interesting. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. A quick overall rating before we get into it is a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. That's kind of high, but honestly, yeah, I agree because it was at the time a unique concept. I feel like nowadays they really like doing the hero's a monster. Like,
We've seen that a lot recently, but at its time when it first
it was really unique. And you're right. Luckily, Kaiju number 8 helps itself in being a season anime because it can be action packed. It doesn't have to be any bit of like extending, or it doesn't have to feel too long. Hopefully, I think the second season should be coming out. It's already been announced. I don't know when it's coming out. Hopefully this year, 2025. But that's the issue with season animes. It's just that like sometimes the wait's too long. Bro.
Yeah, that is the one drawback, that you do wait, but the quality is always better.
Yeah, that's true. Not everybody can come out weekly and be great, but I also it's hey man, I'm excited for One Piece, but that's not here. Yeah, we're not here for it. But Kaiju number 8. So people hopefully people who haven't seen it, the whole concept is basically about how like this guy who he wanted to become a hero, ends up becoming like a 33-year-old janitor, and then I think that's his age. Again, like it's been a while. He becomes a janitor and he's like, oh, I'm gonna give up because I'm too old now. I can't be a hero. But then it turns out, oh, you can be a hero. And then the first episode takes a turn where you're like, okay, wow, he's about to like skyrocket as like a human being, freaking trying to reach it. And then he becomes a monster, which is like the moment where it takes a twist from like regular shonen and being like, well, now we have to figure out like how to hide it. So the whole first season is about like him doing his best to become the hero that he wants without letting people find out, and still working as like the lower rank soldier.
Yes.
But and then we also get introduced like a whole bunch of characters with really, honestly, I will say Kaiju number 8 has really, I like their side characters. I really enjoyed Kuroku's. I liked her story about how like what's her motivation to be in the army and why she wants to be the best. It's been interesting.
Having Mina as an actual captain without having a male captain is also really interesting. I really like, I have Hoshina, as I prefer him over Levi. Hot take over here. I prefer Hoshina over Levi.
Damn,
got my favorite Ace.
All right.
But yeah, Kafka is the main protagonist. For once, we're not in a high school classroom. So I'll take it.
That's true. For once we're actual adults and we're like, honestly, the way they battle these freaking monsters has been crazy. I'll give you, like you said, the animation was top tier from the get-go. From every scene that you saw him transform into the monster, or when he was the monster, was S tier for me. But my one thing is, which I'll give it a plus and a minus, is it's that I like that the way you'll find out at the end where it's like people use the monster parts that they've defeated to get stronger, to like fight the monsters again. So that's cool, but I would like, usually at least in the beginning, for there to be more hints of like, whoa, where are the, like, what are the monsters? Like, not so much as, you know.
Yeah, again, I agree with you, but that's part of being seasonal.
Yeah.
Because you're not always guaranteed to get a season 2, so you have to like push it forward. There's no really chance for filler once you're seasonal, so you don't have a chance to hint at things as much. Because that's when filler is used right, is when you're able to hint things through here and there. But with it being seasonal, you can't do that. But yes, and then we meet his protege and Reno, and a young skilled cadet. He helps Kafka as much as he can to hide his true powers, because he and Kuko are the only people to start the show that know his secret. So I really like him as a side character as well. And yeah, he's just trying to catch up to Mina throughout the season progresses. And at this point we meet Kaiju number 9, who is someone that could turn into a human, a kaiju, be able to turn into a human. And we know he's pulling the strings behind the scenes. The different levels of monsters, of kaijus, are also really interesting. But yeah, I agree. That's the fast pace of being seasonal. So I have to say that's what kept it of being from a 10 out of 10. And also, before we get to the ending of the cliffhanger season 1 ends with, what do you think about the music?
I actually really like the music. I know it was I like the ending song opening, but I've always
liked the opening.
I think the opening was pretty good.
Wow. I was not a fan of the opening.
It took some getting used to, but I did prefer the ending more. But
the ending is elite. Yeah, I love that.
It was different, but also I think I just enjoyed it because of the meme that came out during that time, where it was like, it would pop out of nowhere when you think the episode's getting to its climax, and instead of it being a crazy scene, it's like, oh, it's the ending now, and you're like, well. But I like the music. OST wise, it's really rare for me to listen to OSTs when they're really like top tier, like Attack on Titan OSTs go hard. There's some other shows like Genshin that give me really like OSTs that sing and that you can actually like feel the change in the scene is ones that I like. I personally I can barely remember what happens in the OSTs of Kaiju No. So
yeah, I agree. For me, the ending was really good. The opening, I wasn't a fan of. The OSTs, I'm with you. An OST, like they're really good OSTs that I have. Like you remember, My Heroes See You Run. One Piece's OST. Gundam has a lot of really good OSTs across its franchises. Naruto's OSTs are legendary. Kaiju No. 8 OSTs they're good, but they're not memorable.
Yeah, okay. I completely agree with you.
Like you never sit there and complain like, this song. Yeah. Like it goes well with the show, but you're never gonna go out of your way to like play it.
Yeah, or listen to it. It's not being added to the Spotify playlist, basically.
To the end list, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you like the ending of season 1? End up like, you know?
So you go from the nuke that's basically gonna kill everyone on the team, and Kafka sacrifices himself to expose himself having this power. Basically sacrifices himself, not in a sense of dying, but of being sent to prison and being executed for being a kaiju. And now you 1v1 the president that leads all the soldiers. And at the end, when you think Kafka lost, and again, I guess the trope of Kaiju No. 8 as a kaiju like taking over Kafka's body because he's using Kaiju No. 2's weapons.
Yep.
Kaiju No. 2's weapon. Yeah, the gauntlets. And he loses himself, but at the end he punches himself through the stomach to become. He said, "I am not a kaiju. I am Hobino Kafka, and you will not take over me." And I think that was a really good way to end season 1, and to be told, "We're not going to kill you, but you're not free yet." And you don't know what that means going into season 2.
It's a crazy cliffhanger. Like I said, I like to be ahead of the game, you know. So I be reading, I be looking up, I try to find the hidden gems, and I know what happens. I've been kind of slip on it, but that's not here or there. Kaiju number 8 though, it's gonna go crazy. Great things in the second season, and I think unless you have something else to say, Omar.
No. Thank you guys for watching. Do us a favor, hit the subscribe button down below, and see you guys next time.
Peace.